Hey everyone, Odishime here, and today I'm answering life's most pressing, burning question. How on earth do you start watching Precure? Precure is a very daunting franchise, I think, from an outside perspective. A few of my friends have just started getting into it, and it's a very overwhelming experience when you first get into it. I know I was quite scared when I first got into it, and I got into it years ago when there wasn't as many seasons and characters to learn, so God knows how people going into it nowadays must feel. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a really long time because I love spreading the Precure agenda, and even if you've already seen Precure, I hope this video is really fun to watch because I just love talking about Precure anyway. It's my most favourite thing in the world. I don't know if you guys have noticed. So how did I start watching Precure? Well, that's an excellent question. It must have been 2016, and I came across Glitter Force on Netflix when it first came out, and I kind of binged through that with my little sister. I had so much fun. I won't go into too much detail about it, it's a whole other video that I want to make eventually, but it was a lot of fun, really good for kids nostalgia vibes. The humour, the comedy is really good in it, and then we went to look up clips on YouTube one day, and turns out it's a whole bigger thing. So here I am, 8 years later, deep in Precure hell. So what is Precure, Professor T? Well, I am something of a Precure expert, unfortunately for everyone. So Precure is a meta-series by definition. This simply just means that each instrument in the franchise is its own entity. Like they're not connected by, they're not chronologically connected. You can, in theory, jump in anywhere but 2 seasons which are sequels. I'll get into that later. So you could jump in at 2010, you could jump in from the very beginning, you could jump in on the latest season. So that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. Really, how to get into the series in a way that suits you. So what is Precure is the question we need to tackle before getting into how to watch it. If you know what Precure is, good for you. If you don't, it is defined as a meta-series. This simply just means that it's a long-running show where each season isn't connected to the last one and can be watched as its own identity. This means that basically you can watch as much or as little as you want, which I think is kind of neat. Personally, I'm a more kind of person. I have seen every season. So it means that you can really just jump in on what's current. You can jump in on an old one if it interests you. The only exceptions are 2 seasons, which are called Yes 5 Go Go and Futaliwa Precure Max Heart. These are sequels to their respective prior seasons, but even then, I think if you hadn't seen the season before, you could quite easily jump in and the recaps will pretty much fill you in on what you need to know. There might be a few questions you don't fully understand, and obviously you'll miss all the character development from the previous seasons, but in theory I suppose you could start with them. It's just not ideal. Whenever people ask me what Precure is, I kind of feel like it's so hard to explain that I end up saying, like, imagine Power Rangers, but it's animated and it's girly. And a lot of people go, oh right, yeah, that makes sense, rather than me trying to explain, well, you know, it's a magical girl show and they fight a different monster every week and it's about their lives and friendships and growing as people and all these different things. Girly Power Rangers always just seems to hit the nail on the head right away, and people go, oh right, yeah, that makes sense, sure. So let's start with one method of jumping onto the show, which is the current season. This is probably the most accessible way to get into it at the moment, actually, because Crunchyroll is actually simulcasting it in nearly every country this year. I live in the UK, and last year we didn't get the simulcast of Hero Goes Sky, and that was really frustrating for me because so many other countries, including like America, were getting the simulcast and they just completely forgot about Europe. But all of the European regions actually get the simulcast of wonderful Precure this year. So I'm having a lot of fun tuning into that straight away every Sunday morning, first thing when I wake up. My friends are all jumping in on it because it's on Crunchyroll, it's so easy to access. And we're all having lots of fun. This year's season, it is pet themed. It's about a dog who turns into a Precure. It's amazing. There's also a cat that turns into a Precure if you're a cat person. Their owners are Precures. There's a lot of drama, there's tension, There is so much going on. It truly is a wonderful show. I would actually recommend this. It feels like a really beginner-friendly season. It's not too heavy on the lore, but it's quite a lot to bite into at the same time. If you're into character-driven work, I think it is a very good character-driven piece of media. There is the option of watching the franchise in order. This it feels like a big commitment from the outside because we're now on season 21. We're actually nearly at the 1,000 episode mark as well, which I think is really intimidating to some people. If you know that you want to commit to Precure, you know this is going to be something you love, you're really, really interested in the show, then yeah, maybe watching in order would be an interesting way of doing it. I kind of wish I'd watched in order for my first viewing all the way through, because I think seeing the show develop, change and grow over the years must have been such an exciting thing to do in real time. I jumped on during the time Tropical Rouge was airing. I had kind of followed the franchise from a distance from 2016 onwards. I followed the new seasons, the new characters, but I'd never properly sat down and watched all of it until I saw the Tropical Rouge leaks, and I was like, this season looks so amazing, I've got to watch this one properly. And it hooked me so much that I just ploughed through all 20 seasons. The watch order. The series spans from 2004 to today. So you start with the classic, the OG Futariwa Precure, and then its sequel, Max Heart. These are very quintessential Magical Girl fan viewings, I think. They kind of really defined and reinvented the genre in its own way. From what I'm aware, I think this might have been like the first very heavily inspired all-action Magical Girl show. And watching Precure kind of drift away from that over the years has been kind of an interesting development. They've been leaning more into magic than action, and I don't mind. So you start with Futariwa Precure, and then plow right into Splash Star. Now this is really confusing because they look so similar visually. Fun fact, Precure wasn't really meant to go beyond Futariwa. And I think when you're watching that season, I won't give any spoilers, but it is quite obvious that they never really planned for it to go past maybe 25 episodes or so. And then obviously it was so successful, it just kind of kept spiraling into more seasons and more episodes. So I think the visual choices in Splash Star were purely marketing. Obviously kids wanted something new but not too new. These characters look similar, the art style and direction is very similar. It's very clearly still Precure, but these characters are ever so slightly different. After Splash Star, you get the joy of watching Yes 5 and Yes 5 Go Go. These kind of flipped the series on its head a bit. We've got a whole team of different coloured Precures, we've got uniforms, we've got cool weapons, we've got kind of like an expanded world now. We've got like the fairy kingdoms, we've got more side characters. These are very classic Precure seasons. I think this is very definitive of what Precure is all about. It's not one of my favourite seasons, but I think it's a must-see, even if you just watch the core episodes. After Yes 5 Go Go, you're going straight into Fresh, which is one of my favourite seasons. It's so good. All singing, all dancing, kinda. This one again reinvented the series in a lot of ways. It introduced a lot of new concepts that became a staple of Precure, like CGI dance endings, the mid-season cure. So many different staples and so much reinvention in this series. After Fresh, you'll be going on to 2010 season, which is Hot Catch. This is a wildly successful, this is one of the most popular Precure seasons. You may recognise the art style. It's got the same art director and all as Ujimajo Doremi. It's very heavily influenced by Doremi. It has a similar formula, similar character writing. When you're watching it as a fan of both shows, you can really see where the influences come in. After Hot Catch, it is Sweet Sweet Precure. This is the music themed season in 2011. This one has some very beautiful art. It's a fun watch. Then you go into what I would consider a new generation of Precure. It's 2012's Smile Precure. The art looks a lot more vibrant, saturated. It all starts looking more modern from this point onwards. Smile is a season that was dubbed as Glitter Force on Netflix. Obviously Smile has a lot of differences to Glitter Force. It's a really, really good watch, a really strong cast of characters. It has the same art director, character designer as Yes 5, and you can kind of see it when you stand them side by side. Smile feels like an homage to Yes 5. It's also 5 years since Yes 5 came out, so I don't know if Smile was kind of paying homage to it that way as a celebration, and I don't think it's ever been confirmed. After Smile, the next season is Doki Doki. This is 2013 season. It was dubbed as Glitter Force Doki Doki by Netflix in the West. Again, this is a really good season, but it's definitely one you should watch instead of Glitter Force because the story is so different and it makes a lot more sense in Japanese when it's not all edited. After Doki Doki, it's the 10th anniversary and we get Happiness Charge Precure. This season is really underrated, really fun. After that, we start with... People say this is the start of a new generation. It's every 10 years. I don't know. I don't really like to class it by generation, but the next season is Go Princess. This season is a huge step up in visuals, writing. It's insane. This is one of the best seasons. You've got to watch this one. After Go Princess, you go on to Mahou Sakai, the witchy themed season. This one's awesome. It has Mothrin. And then we go on to another favourite of mine, Kira Kira Precure a la Mode, the baking animal theme season. Another anniversary season, it's time for the 15th anniversary with Hakuto Precure, a really interesting, kind of complex series about the future, careers, your dreams, growing as a person, coming of age. It has a lot of real neat growing up sort of themes in it. After Hakuto, we go into space with Star Twinkle Precure. This is a really famous, really popular season. It was well received. It's so good. I've been saying every season is so good, but they are. And then, after Star Twinkle, we go back down to Earth for Healing Good. This season aired during the COVID pandemic. It was really unfortunate timing and kind of hilariously timed, seeing that this season is kind of about illness, doctors, health, and the environment and stuff. It was very, very weirdly relevant. It was just a shame that a lot of it kind of got messed over by COVID. I think we lost some episodes, which is a real shame. They weren't able to be finished and aired. So that's something to bear in mind when checking out this season. After that, we go on to a season that kind of just rotted my brain away. Tropical Rouge Precure. This season is gorgeous, it's summery. You know that image on Twitter that goes around a lot of like the dolphin jumping out of the ocean? It's really saturated and vibrant and colourful and it's got the big rainbow. That's how watching this season feels. After Tropical, we are so very nearly in the modern day. We go to Delicious Party. A kind of controversial season. You either love it or hate it. I won't say too much about it, but this is 2022's season. Oh my god, I keep forgetting what year it is. It all blurs into one. After Delicious Party, it's last year with Hirogari Sky, the 20th anniversary season. A fantastic season. Themes are like heroes and it has a lot of focus on other worlds and found family. It's a really, really good watch. And then we are back in the present day with wonderful Precure. Wow, wasn't that a fun little trip down the Precure timeline? If you really want to sit there and watch it all in order, that's the order. The final, and the way that I choose to do it, way that I would suggest, is just pure vibes. Just do a little bit of research into what each season looks like, who the characters are, what the themes are, what the overarching story is like, and just pick one that you really like the look of, pick one that excites you. Like I jumped on fully committed to Tropical because I loved the character designs. I was kind of biased because I live in... Did you know I live in a tropical climate? So stuff like the beach and the ocean is kind of really dear to my heart. It is a season that's really special to me. I love Tropical Precure, so that was just where I threw myself right in. And then I just kind of hopped from season to season, going by which one I like the look of the most next. So I think after Tropical, I went straight to Star Twinkle. I did Go Princess. I did a Smile rewatch, obviously, because I'd seen Glitter Force. I did those four really early on. I left the older series till the end, which I kind of regret because I struggled to get through the ones like Futariwa, Splash Star, Yes 5. They felt like a harder watch for me now that I had seen all of these seasons prior to it and I'd seen the newer, more evolved seasons where the formula is more solid, they understand what they're doing with the show, they've got more clear ideas, which is a shame because the classic seasons are so well received. It's kind of a shame that I didn't enjoy them too much. Splash Star is probably my favourite of the lot. And the character work in Yes 5 is phenomenal. I really enjoyed that. I just didn't enjoy trudging through 100 episodes where the story just didn't really hit for me. And that is my very simple, straightforward beginner's guide to watching Precure. I hope this has convinced someone out there to give the series a go. It's given someone an idea of where to start. I hope if you are a long-time fan like me and have watched the video that you at least enjoyed hearing me waffle on aimlessly about this show. I'd love to hear people's thoughts and stories in the comments about Precure. Like, tell me how you started watching it, or tell me your favourite season or something. Please talk to me about Precure. So until next video, goodbye, Audition Nation.